Hey there guys, this week we are talking about money. We are gonna be talking about things that you can do right now, systems you can put into place to set yourself up and save for that initial down payment. It's tough to do. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe below if you found this useful and you want some more of it. I try to upload a video every single week. I was a psych student a few years back. One of my favorite classes that we ever sat through was watching videos of the Stanford marshmallow experiment. They would put marshmallows in front of these kids and say, look, here's a marshmallow. You can eat the marshmallow now, or if you wait 15 minutes in this empty room with nothing else to do, if you sit in this room for 15 minutes and I come back, you can have 2 marshmallows. And this was one of the big studies about delayed gratification. It's only 15 minutes. If you can just put up with having this marshmallow in front of you for 15 minutes, you get 2. Like it just makes sense. Logically, everybody should be waiting 15 minutes. You didn't even know this marshmallow existed when you entered the room. It was so funny. There were kids who were covering their eyes, they were plugging their ears, they were humming to themselves, they were touching the marshmallow to feel if it was as soft as they thought it would be. And then there were some who inevitably 9th minute comes, 10th minute comes, they just can't do it anymore. They grab it and they shove it in their face. They love the marshmallow. And it was so funny. As a class of students, we were breaking up laughing about how silly these kids are for struggling so much to delay the gratification to get so much more. At this point in my life, I see resemblances of that study every single day. And now we live in a society where not only are we're not sitting in a quiet room looking at marshmallows, we're going to malls, we're seeing advertisements, we're on Facebook and it's telling us that we need a t-shirt, we need an iPhone, we need a new laptop or a new car, and that's gonna make us happy, even though we may not have even known that thing existed 10 minutes before. And so when I think of people who have long-term goals of wanting to own property and set up their lives and get their down payment together for a home, it's so easy for people to be pulled and pulled. The theme of this video is going to be difficult because it is about delaying gratification for something that you want now. It's about not buying into the novelty of something in the short term for the sake of achieving those longer-term goals. Don't forget that it's an important part of this, and that's that delayed gratification, that marshmallow sitting in front of us is the hardest part for people when they're trying to get their finances in order to get into the market or go on that vacation, whatever it might be. For me, I see it most when people talk about how hard it is to save for a down payment. For you, you could have another long-term goal. This will hopefully help you. This week, I'm going over 5 things that you can start doing right now to set yourself up to save for that down payment or whatever your long-term goal is. Point number 1, transfer a fixed amount of specific income into a special savings account. I've been reading The Wealthy Barber, skimming through it again. This is one of the first books I read when I got into real estate or was thinking about getting into real estate. Wealthy Barber, there's also The Wealthy Barber Returns. David Chilton, local boy. One of the things that he talks about is paying yourself first and setting aside 10% of your income. Act like the government is implementing a tax that you can't get out of. You set that aside in a special savings account that you do not touch. You are already going paycheck to paycheck, but taking the mindset of this is something that I cannot avoid. Treat yourself like you are running your own business all the time and that this is something that you can't avoid. You'll figure out a way to make it happen. And by paying yourself that 10% of every paycheck, that will add up very quickly. Now, the key to doing this is to not see it. Don't make yourself responsible for moving that 10% over every time. Go to your bank, set it up so it happens automatically. Point number 2, remove your high interest debt as quickly as possible. For some people that might mean, look, I have access to a line of credit that's charging me 8% interest and I've got some money sitting on a credit card that's costing me 18% interest. Now, maybe it's worthwhile to amalgamate some of that stuff, consolidate some of that debt into a consistent space, but kill it as quickly as you can because once you get into high interest debt situations, it's very, very hard to get out. But as soon as you can beat those down, you'll be amazed at how much your income really opens up and how quickly you can start using it either to achieve your goals or getting it to work for you in investments. Point number 3 is going to be to put away your bonuses or your unexpected income. So If you get a raise at the end of the year, a constant trap that people fall into is that they immediately start spending. Well, I got this $5,000 raise, so I am gonna buy a new car, or I am going to buy myself an iPad. When you get a bonus at the end of the year, or if you get a gift from Aunt Bertha for the next holiday or your birthday, whatever it is, if you get that money, act like you didn't. Keep working in the system that you've developed for yourself and set that money aside. Just get it into that special savings account or use it to beat down that high interest debt. Number 4 is going to be to downsize your rental or get a roommate. It's a hard thing to tell people that to help save long-term. If you really can't cut corners anywhere else, something you can do is alter your lifestyle in the short term. If that 3-bedroom townhouse is eating up 50% of your income, how are you gonna be able to save longer term? Is there any chance that you would be able to change your lifestyle for the next year or two to live in a basement apartment, to tough it out with a roommate? Your current living expenses are very, very much exacerbated if you are living in space and paying for space that you may not be utilizing all the time. So downsizing your rental or grabbing a roommate are great things you can do in the short term that can really benefit you in the long term. Last but not least is skip this year's vacation. Vacations are one of these things where you don't always expect the expenses to jump as quickly as they do. And something that I think a lot of people overlook when they start thinking about expenses is maybe they've lined up their Airbnb, they've lined up their events, they know where they're going, they have their budget, the whole trip's gonna cost them $1,000, let's say, whatever it is. The thing is, if you start to think a little bit more about that trip and what you're doing to prepare for it, you'll start to see that, oh, it actually costed me $50 extra in groceries this year because I really needed to slim down. I needed to get X and Y special protein shakes so I can get in shape to be on the beach. Or I needed to buy a new outfit. I needed to pay to get to the airport and park my car. All of these things around your vacation that may not be that specific amount add up quickly. By skipping the vacation once in your late 20s or 30s, that can really go a long way in supporting you with those financial goals. Remember that we live in a society right now where you are being pressured to buy and spend money now as opposed to saving up and setting yourself up for a lifestyle that you want. Starting now is definitely the best move. I know it's hard. I'm not the greatest at it, but these are the kinds of things that I'm working on right now in 2018. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again this week. I really appreciate you tuning in. If this was helpful at all, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe here if you want some more videos like this. I try to get one out every week. Take care, and I will see you next time.